Hello, Barrels. My name is Armen, and I am the owner of the company called Armens Barrels. Oh, scratch that. My wife and I are the owners of Armens Barrels. Sorry, honey. We are winery, distillery, bar and restaurant located in the suburb of Washington, PA. Now, please don't confuse Washington, PA with Washington, DC. Those two cities are slightly different. Now, if we are about 40 minutes south of Pittsburgh, and size-wise, Pittsburgh is probably could be considered as a suburb of Washington, DC. And considering size of Washington, PA, Washington, PA can be considered a suburb of Pittsburgh. So we are in a suburb of a suburb of a suburb. My habitat is in the 12,000 square foot building, and that building has a winery, distillery, bar and restaurant all under the same roof. At least according to my wife, I spend more time there comparing with spending that time at home. Sorry, honey. And I would like to give you a quick background because all our viewers, or all four of them, are asking for a background and a history of why I'm making wine and making liquors instead of spending my time somewhere useful like IT work. The background is simple. I spent over 30 years in IT. I've been programming, writing codes, doing databases, setting up Linux servers. I've been there, I know all that. And about 5 years ago, I decided to stop being a nerd and turn my old hobby of making wine into my commercial enterprise. I remember at that time when I said to my wife that I'm going commercial winemaker, she got really scared. She said, look, you know nothing about winemaking and you know nothing about distilling. I said, look, there is always a Google, right? By the way, when it comes to Google, probably about 20 to 30% of Google's answers when you ask professional questions about winemaking are pretty wrong. Number two, my wife said, look, how you can sell your wine? There are hundreds of wines in the liquor stores. And I said, look, if we don't know how to sell the wine, we can always drink it, right? Well, at that time, I didn't tell her that we will be producing tens of thousands of bottles of wine on a yearly basis. Sorry, honey. And number three, my wife said, look, you are going to owe money to pretty much every single bank in Pennsylvania. Why you want to do that? I said, look, it will make me happy. And that is a very true statement because all that booze in the warehouse keeps me pretty happy. When it comes to money, I have a little advice for people who would like to become a winemakers and or distillers. Number one, you need to have a good chunk of money to sustain your operations. Remember, wine is a product that takes about 2 years to develop and then it will be a sales time. So you are spending money now and hopefully making money after 2 years. General idea, if you have less than $1 million, I would probably reconsider that idea of going winemaking and maybe turn yourself into IT. The second, it's reporting. It's reporting to probably a couple of dozens of different organizations. On the top of them is TTB, or Federal Bureau of Tobacco, Alcohol, Firearms and Explosives. Now, that reporting is pretty extensive and their audits are pretty extensive too, so you should consider that if you decide to go winemaking or distilling. For example, very often you calculate number of cases in your facility and you are like, okay, I have 320 cases of 16 ABV liqueur. How much is that in proof gallons? You want to test yourself? You can pause that video and see if you can come up with the right answer. So what we do is this, 320, we're multiplying it by 12, so we know how many bottles we have. Then we multiply it by 0.75, then we know how many liters we have. Then we divide it by 3.785, now we know number of gallons. And then we multiply it by 16 and divide it by 50 to turn regular fluid gallons into the proof gallons. Sounds simple, right? Well, we make mistakes all the time when we are doing all those calculations. And number three, a lot of people think that winemaking and distilling, it's probably those winemakers, they are such a bastards, snobby bastards, which is not true. They often speak French, which is not true. They drink wine all day long, which is true. But they don't understand that 95% of the time spent in the winery and distillery is used for washing, rinsing, sanitizing. So prepare to do washing, rinsing, sanitizing all day long. If you notice, up to this moment, I specifically did not call my wife by name. I always said my wife, my wife, my wife. And let me explain you the reason for that. The reason is related to branding, okay? Like in wine industry, branding is pretty simple. In the bottle, it's usually the company name and then it is the name of the grape variety, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Pinot Noir, whatever it might be. In France, it's usually the name of the province, Bordeaux, Burgundy, but French people are different. So in distillery industry, there is no such rules. So we were thinking about what kind of brand our vodkas and other liquors will be carrying, and I decided to name it Florena, which is the name of my wife. So all our vodkas, gin, brandy, and everything else that we're producing currently under distillery is named Florena. And when I tell that story to people, they were like, oh, and well, I had a hidden agenda too. There are actually two of them. Number one, when I open up the bottle of vodka and before the dinner, and my wife is like, why? What is that? I'm like, look, honey, I'm making sure that it is right quality and right consistency. After all, it's your name on the label. And then she can say nothing about it. And number two, making my wife's name, putting my wife's name on the label made our relation stronger. Think about it. Why would my wife want to divorce me, the person who is spending most of my time promoting her name? And why would I want to divorce my wife? Because, like, what do? Call it my ex-Florena? Doesn't make sense. So for those two reasons, it's a very good idea to put name of your spouse on a label. Finally, if you notice me sometimes looking on this side, it's my check boxes, okay? My whole life turned into goddamn giant list of check boxes these days. This is just a small sub-list of that big list. Anyways, this is our first episode, and in this episode I want to talk about specifics of all our products that we are creating in our winery side and in our distillery side. So it will be next section talking about our winery products, and then section talking about our distillery products. All right, let's talk about our products when it comes to winery. Right here you see our products, and they start with dry wine, Niagara. It's a white dry wine. Then it's a red dry wine, Concord. And we turned those two wines into semi-sweets. We turned Niagara into Pina Colada, and we turned Concord into Blackberry Sangria. Now, this Niagara is a beautiful wine that won bronze medal on Los Angeles International Wine Competition. There were over 1,200 submitters. As far as I know, nobody is making Niagara dry. I don't know, maybe that gave us a medal. But it's a very full body wine. You will feel tastes of lemon, you will feel tastes of apple in the front. Now in the middle you will feel oakness and tartness because all our wines are going through oak aging, at least for 1 year. And then on the back you will not feel acidity typical for the white wine because it was in the barrels for 12 to 16 months. Now Concord is pretty simple wine. I can only compare it with maybe Chianti from northern Italy. It's a simple, grapey, very fruity in the front, still oakness and tartness, and then on the back you will not feel any properties of the full body wine, of course. Now, our Pina Colada and Blackberry Sangria are about 85% Niagara and Concord. And the rest of that is in case with Pina Colada, basically coconut and pineapple boiled with the sugar, and in case with blackberry, it's a blackberry, peach, lemon, and orange boiled with the sugar. Now, a lot of people are asking why Concord and Niagara? And my answer to that is simple. Welcome to Pennsylvania. Here's my typical conversation with the growers, farmers who grow wines in the Erie County, Pennsylvania, and that's the place where most of our grapes are grown. Hey Joe, you have Merlot for me? Sorry, Merlot got frozen last winter. It was pretty harsh. Joe, what about Cabernet Sauvignon? You know, we don't have a lot. We barely have only for us. Joe, is there anything you can sell me? Well, if you have a swimming pool, I can fill it up with Concord. And you have a second swimming pool, I will fill it up with Niagara. After having the same conversation 3-4 times, you start realizing that Erie is place for Concord and Niagara. And to avoid searching for other varieties, I decided to stick with Concord and Niagara. Now, our Niagara is sold pretty much in every store west of Harrisburg, and our Blackberry Sangria is sold pretty much in every store, every Pennsylvania store west of Harrisburg. Now, let's remember that Pennsylvania is the only reseller, and Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board is the largest alcohol purchaser in the world. So Pennsylvania is the government-controlled state when it comes to purchasing of alcohol, and it's a big achievement to be in those stores. And now we are voluntarily replacing this beautiful wine Niagara with Pina Colada. Why? In Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, they're saying that I'm doing the right thing. Basically, pretty much everyone in Pennsylvania has a sweet tooth. So very soon it will be these two wines, and we'll send pallets and pallets of these wines to PLCB. I do believe that the reason why this wine won medals and why we are successful selling our semi-sweets to general public through stores and through other means is a barrel aging. We have over 250 barrels in our facility, and we probably go through a lot of those barrels every time there is a harvesting season, because we need to make the wine and then put them into barrels. And then we take that wine out of the barrels and put them back into the stainless containers, so they age a little bit in the stainless steel as well. Now, it's a hard job to try our wine, because when you have so many barrels, you kind of need to try every barrel, because it takes only one bacteria to turn your wine into vinegar. And when I'm having that day and coming home, my wife, she just looks in my eyes and says, she doesn't say anything. It's a pause. And then she's like, oh, it was one of those days, huh? Sorry, honey, we have a lot of barrels in our facility. The last thing I want to mention, it's a distinct quality of all our wines, comparing with pretty much any other wine that you will find anywhere in the world. And that is our capsule. Now, if you will take a look at the capsule, it is something that you've never seen in your life. It is capsule that has been patented by us, created by us here in Pennsylvania, made by us. The reason for having this capsule is following. Very often, to open the capsule, which serves purely aesthetic purpose these days, you need to pull it out of the bottle, or you need to cut it off, and sometimes you can cut your finger after cutting off that capsule. So these capsules, whenever you are ready to drink, you just flip it and recycle it. Now, some people are asking if they can reuse the cap. I mean, you can, however, it will not prevent oxygen from going into the bottle. So whenever you took that capsule out, please recycle and use that cork to stick it back in, or use some kind of a vacuum sealer closures. Those things would be better than this. Like I said, this is only for aesthetic purposes, and this capsule will allow you to open the bottle easily. Besides the fact that this is very typical dry wine, and this is very typical dry wine, people are still asking if there's something special they need to know about these wines when they are drinking it, when they are storing it. Well, when it comes to storage of the wines, major rule applies to all our wines. Keep them like this. Why? Because the cork on the top of the bottle is supposed to be moist and preserve the wine from oxygen coming through. Whenever you're ready to drink, I would suggest to drink white wine cold. Not super cold, I should say chilled. If you will put that into the refrigerator and take it out about 15 to 30 minutes before you're ready to start drinking, that would be plenty enough. When it comes to red wine, me personally, I like the room temperature. Even if it is 68, 70 degrees, I still prefer the room temperature. This way you feel more properties of the wine, especially in the front. Now, when it comes to our semi-sweets, the best way to drink those would be take a pitcher, dump the ice, and dump the whole bottle there. We purposely made them a little bit too sweet. Okay. By the way, the ABV of our dry wines is 13.5, and semi-sweets is about 11.1. Now, we made them specifically too sweet just to accommodate for the fact that ice will melt in your pitcher, and they will turn into about 8.5 ABV with less amount of sugar. Now, we cannot say that every person will like that particular amount of sugar. However, generally, people would love these wines when after about 15 minutes they are in a pitcher with the ice. We actually made the canned versions of our semi-sweet wines, and canned versions are 8.5% ABV. It's basically watered down versions of these two wines. Now, why we made them that way? Well, because cans supposed to be open when they are cold, but you typically don't pour content of the can on the ice. You drink it right from the can. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to, let's say, comparing our wines with something else, it would be a terrible idea to compare one wine with another just by trying one and then trying another. You need to try each one separately. And the major rules there are, if you want to compare wines, first of all, you have to make sure that they're the same temperature. Second of all, and that applies to drinking and comparing, when you open the cork, make sure you let it stay for 5 to 15 minutes. You let the wine breathe, and that breathing process opens up some qualities that are might be hidden when specifically with white wines when temperature is cold. Now, whenever you are trying the wine, to just to enjoy that wine or to compare it with something else, you need to watch how you drink it. First, you will need to understand what tip of the tongue is telling you. Those are usually flavors, different flavors that come with the wine. Now, second, and that's important part that a lot of people are missing, you need to move that wine to the top of your mouth, and that's usually where oakness and tartness is felt. And if you do that often enough, you will distinguish, let's say, French oak barrels from American oak barrels right away, and it will be easy to say what it is. Is it Cab Sauv from Napa Valley, or it is Bordeaux from France? And number three, of course, you watch how it goes down. And the reason why white wines supposed to be chilled is because they're more acidic, and it helps the wine to go down easier on the back of your mouth versus red wines that are less acidic, and you actually can drink them and enjoy without making sure that temperature is lower. Now, once dry wine concord is open, it will be good for a couple of days. I mean, you can drink it after that, but I would suggest just a couple of days, as pretty much applies to any other red wine. Now, when white wine is open, it can stay for about a week. Why? Well, because white wines are more acidic, like I said, and acidic wines are creating environment for microorganisms that is not ideal. So this wine turning into the vinegar slower. You don't have to refrigerate any of our wines after opening, but I would suggest to refrigerate Niagara, just because not to preserve its life and keep it longer alive, but also you don't need to worry about putting it back to the fridge next time you want to open the bottle. Now, our semi-sweets, once they are open, they can stay open. Obviously, you put the cork back. They can stay open for weeks. Now, the question would be why? Why semi-sweets have the longer lifespan comparing with dry wines? They have sugar. Well, I'll tell you why. It's the same reason, acidity. Because all these fruits, coconut, pineapple, blackberry, lemon, orange, they all are acidic. You don't feel them because sugar offsets that acidity in those wines. And because they are pretty acidic, they preserve the wine much, much better. But I'm not a sommelier, so what do I know? Now we are going to talk about our liquors. Our very first product was this, Florena. Florena, organic, gluten-free, non-GMO vodka that won a ton of medals, 90 points on Wine Enthusiast. Just so you know, Grey Goose is 90 points on Wine Enthusiast. It is extremely smooth vodka, it is 40 ABV, and it is a corn base. Now, our second one is the same vodka. We just developed a label a little later. It is absolutely the same product inside. And what we did is, in this label, as you might see, we emphasize the facts that it won 90 points on Wine Enthusiast. And we also right here, we emphasize the fact that this distillery is owned by Armenian-owned family. Myself and my wife, we both are Armenians, and we want to be known by that fact as well. When it comes to Armenians, funny conversation comes to my mind. One time I'm speaking to Armenian dude, and he's like, "Look, you should make episode on Armenian." And I'm like, "My Armenian is not good." And he looks at me and he's like, "Oh, you think your English is good?" Those Armenians are something else. Now, the next one is, again, it is the same product inside. Now, the question is, why we made that, right? It's very simple. According to the laws of Pennsylvania, you cannot sell a product to anyone in Pennsylvania for price less than Pennsylvania itself sells your product in the store. So this is sold in a store for $29.99. So if I want to sell this bottle to the bar, let's say, or to the restaurant, I cannot sell it for less than $29.99. Now, there are workarounds. I don't like workarounds. I like straightforward decisions that make me sleep good at night. So we invented another vodka. Now, the bottle is different. It's a cheaper version of the bottle. There is no color here. It's much cheaper version of the wrapper. And because of all this, we are selling this vodka at the discounted prices to our customers that are bars and restaurants. I specifically want to talk about this vodka Curve. It's a love of my life. Scratch that. My wife is the love of my life, okay? Sorry, honey. And my kids too, and grandkids. But somewhere there is this vodka. After this has been released and has been pretty popular, we started experimenting with this vodka, thinking how we bring it to the next level. And you know, it happened to be the same concept that applies in IT industry and many other industries as well. About 20% of your effort gets you to about 80% of finishing the task. And then it takes another 80% of your effort to finish the task, to complete another 20% of that task. So that's what happened with this vodka. We were experimenting with extra distilling. These are distilled 6 times. This is distilled 7 times. We experimented with filtering. We tried charcoal. We tried sand. We tried diamond rocks. We tried so many things. So this is not only distilled 1 more time and filtered 2 more times. This vodka has been created using the optimal parameters. Devil is always in details. So when you are, let's say, filtering, well, what's the temperature of vodka is going to be? How much filter can carry before it gets clogged? What is the floating rate? So all those things we took into the consideration and created this vodka that is absolutely rocked the world in terms of medals. And I will talk about medals a little later. Continuing about Curve, when we created the product, it was a question of what kind of bottle we put it into, what kind of brand name it will be, what kind of label it's going to be. So we went to absolute best when it comes to capsule, the cork. Inside of this capsule is the cork that it's a wooden cork that we burn our logo to using our hands. Now we use the same bottle that we used for original Florena. However, we made a brand name Florena Curve and we put that black sign behind. Now, why Florena Curve? Well, first of all, my wife is curvy. Sorry, honey. But second, if you see that thing behind, it looks like a dollar sign or something, but actually what is that is Armenian letter F. While these vodkas will not give you a hangover, believe me, I have a lot of people who can sign for that statement. These vodkas might still give you DUI. It is 40 ABV. Now, the last guy in our collection is a gin. It's a very classic gin, however, it is blue. Okay, even right here on the bottle, it says the reason why it is blue. We put there butterfly pea flowers. Butterfly pea flowers don't affect the tasting quality, but they add distinct blue color to whatever liquid you are adding butterfly pea flowers to. So it was the interesting story that CW Spirits, who is our online distributor of majority of our distillery products, and they are one of the largest in the country and they ship internationally too. I just sent them the picture of this gin and they said, okay, we need to carry it. And I said, look guys, you never carried any of our products without first tasting it. They said, we don't care, it looks cool. Okay, I guess it's a cool thing that it is blue, but if you will introduce any kind of acidic substance to it, like a lime juice or lemon juice, this gin will turn its color to pink. So it is a color changing gin. That's how CW Spirits advertise actually this product. And we made that only about a couple of months ago, and just for the record, I think it's one day of August of 2024, and we already got our first medal, bronze medal on Finger Lakes International Spirits Competition. When it comes to medals, these products have so many medals, we don't put them on the belly because it's not enough space. Just to give you an example, 2 months ago, this Floriana Curve vodka won gold medal, bunch of points on Los Angeles International Spirits Competition. 1 month later, it won gold medal, bunch of points on New York International Spirits Competition. This won 2 medals each, I believe. This we just invented and we already got 1 medal. So the thing with medals is interesting. I will probably stop sending my products to those competitions for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, it's expensive. Sending that is not like a $10 pack the bottle and send it out. But reason number 2, there were no competition that we sent any of our products to and did not win a medal. And it's not like you send it to competition and there are only 3 vodkas and one of them will win gold, silver or bronze. No, there are hundreds of submitters. All the big boys are there. So it's kind of not fun anymore just to send the product, pay for it, and then just to guess what medal that product is gonna win this year. But maybe I will change my opinion, who knows. Last about these liquors is about tasting. How do you taste them? How you keep them? Obviously, it's up to you what temperature to maintain. I would suggest when it comes to any of these products, don't freeze them. Please don't put them into freezer. If you have a terrible vodka, yes, put it to freezer because otherwise it will be very hard to drink. These are such smooth vodkas and such smooth gin that I personally would recommend to you to drink it in the room temperature. However, if you are too sensitive or you're used to drinking cold vodka, put it to refrigerator. At least put it to the refrigerator. Now, when it comes to comparing this with something else, you need to remember something and keep that in mind. If you are comparing two vodkas, it's the same thing like with the wine. You cannot just try one vodka and then try another. Just to give you an example, you try the terrible vodka, you drink that, and it will shock your taste buds so bad that no matter what the next vodka will be, the next vodka will be the greatest vodka in the world. So it takes taste buds at least several minutes to recover. So you cannot just try one, try another, try third. Open the bottle, make sure the same temperature, and make sure that amount of liquid there is not below a certain level. Why? Because once you drink a little bit of that liquid, it evaporates. Whatever is left evaporates. And because ethanol is the lightest part of vodka, it evaporates ethanol. So if you will open this vodka, it will be 40 ABV. If this vodka goes down to here, it will turn into 35 ABV. And comparing one drink with another when one is 40 ABV and another 35 is not fair. So you open it up, you let it breathe, actually, yes, in the same like in the winery, and the reason is the same like I mentioned a minute ago. Let the lightest fractions of this vodka evaporate. So let it breathe for about 5 minutes and then pour into cups and try one, wait for some time, and then try another. That's how you compare vodkas. So the temperature should be identical. That's a major rule. Another rule is you don't need to try the middle of the mouth as it works only with wines, but you need to watch what top or front of the mouth tells you and versus the back. The tip of your tongue, it will tell you how bitter it is. It will tell you amount of heads that are left in the liquid. It will tell you a lot about quality of vodka. It is something that we call the vodka front-end properties, and some good vodkas are actually pretty heavy on those elements, and some bad vodkas are actually pretty light on those elements. The reason we evaluate vodka is typically how harsh it is, and that's we feel in the back of your mouth, the harshness of liquor. So all our liquors, they have a little kick in the front, and then it goes down so smooth, and everyone is saying they feel a little bit of sweetness, and that is of course because these are corn-based vodkas. This is our liqueurs versus our liquor, and these two liqueurs have been winning all the medals like our vodka, imaginable and not imaginable. And these liqueurs are pretty heavy and thick, and the typical application for these liqueurs would be coffee, would be desserts, would be making different martinis, would be like some cocktails like White Russian, Black Russian. You can pour this one over vanilla ice cream. They are pretty sweet. Their ABV is about 16%. And these liqueurs are intended to replace Godiva, which we heard a couple of years ago that is going out of market when it comes to their white and dark liqueurs. The content of these liqueurs is very simple. It is vodka, that is our vodka. It is condensed milk, so if you have an issue with dairy products, maybe this is not for you. And it is Ghirardelli white chocolate and Ghirardelli dark chocolate. We tried many other chocolates, nothing really worked. Ghirardelli seems to be the best in terms of quality, and we order the chocolate Majestic, for example, in this case, which is the highest end of their products. We literally boil cocoa powder and mix it with the rest of the ingredients. some people are asking, why don't we water it down or make a different formula to make sure that those liqueurs doesn't dry out. And I keep telling them the same thing. If we will water it down, we will turn them into the Godiva, okay? And I want these liqueurs to be the quality that is absolutely appreciated by pretty much all the tasters and all the international spirits competitions and everyone who had this in their glass. You don't need to refrigerate these liqueurs at all. Not before opening, not after the opening. Like I said, ABV of these liqueurs is 16, so it's enough alcohol there to kill pretty much any microorganism. And once you open, you put the cork back, and it will serve you for month and month and month and month, because before you will start feeling that something is not right with it. So no refrigeration. You can refrigerate, you have tons of space in your refrigerator, but you absolutely do not have to. Now, because these liqueurs are so heavy and thick, and because they have condensed milk, you might have an issue with these liqueurs. Now, that issue will appear, depends on how long you've been keeping those liqueurs in your cabinet. If you will take a look, you will see that this part is empty, and this part where liqueur starts, you might notice that it's dried out. Now, it is not really dried out, it's just the top part. Those are fats from the condensed milk that will dry out if you will keep this liqueur for a month, maybe a little longer. Now, it is not a problem. All you have to do is shake it. And I'm going to show you exactly how you should shake this liqueur. Now, you want to shake this liqueur every time before you use that, because in this particular one there is a cocoa powder that is going down to the bottle. In this one the lighter elements go up. Taste-wise, it will be still very similar between top and bottom, but still I would suggest to shake this liqueur like this every time before you use it. Finally, I'd like to tell you what we are working on currently. We will be making spiced rum pretty soon, I would say. Hopefully it will be organic. That will depend on several factors. And we actually put brandy into barrels in 2021. So we need about 4 more years before that brandy turns into XO. And hopefully we can sell it for extremely large price. Now, France is officially afraid of Armens Barrels. I called them and asked if I can call that brandy cognac, and they started laughing. Can you imagine? Those French people. Actually, speaking about French people, I want to tell you a story before saying goodbye. One time, me and, I'm sorry, honey, my wife and I, and our in-laws, we went to France. And we flew in Paris like very late in the afternoon, and we went to the hotel, checked in, made sure kids are sleeping, and then we are sitting outside of that hotel, right? And that hotel is like a typical French hotel. It has a small cafe like attached to that hotel. And I realize I'm desperate. So I run around, and it's already 11:30 p.m. I run around and I found that semi-closed restaurant where I was able to buy a bottle of wine. It was Burgundy. The owner of that restaurant had big eyes, probably because he couldn't figure out why the dude bought the bottle of Burgundy for 50 euros if he can buy it tomorrow in any store for 15. Anyways, I was desperate. I grabbed that bottle, ran back to the hotel, and my guys are sitting there. We found 4 plastic glasses, who knows where. We popped the bottle, and we are enjoying that wine. All of a sudden, the dude inside the hotel, he sees us right through the window, the receptionist. He goes outside and he's like, no, 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 no. And he runs back. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, now he's gonna call the police, tell them that 4 alcohol addicts are drinking wine in his property. And minute later, he's running back with the same eyes, like that guy in the restaurant. And he brings 4 glasses, beautiful big wine glasses in his hands. And he's like, guys, you cannot drink this beautiful wine from the plastic cups. And that was something that will stay in my memory forever. So when I say those French people, I actually mean very good things. Their respect to this product is unbelievable. And as far as this episode goes, we are done. I appreciate all my viewers, all 4 of you. Until next time, subscribe, put comments, grab a bottle of wine, go to sleep, whatever you are up to. Thank you. Shnurakalutyun.